youthful glow. It's dewy. Like you see how it glows. When you glow, you look younger. I'll set it with powder in a little bit is because the camera doesn't like, you know, the dewy wet. It's gonna fool your eyes as it's oily, but it's not. And I play with the highlight with the foundation as well. So I can, you know, with highlights and contour, I like to use foundation because I like to build up. I don't like to start from thick, but that's my personal preference. And I feel like some of the makeup artists that I teach, it's easier for them to start that way because sometimes they overdo on the cream and they don't know how to blend, and it takes a lot of practice to blend it out and layer it. But our foundation is so amazing that you can use it. So what I did is I took the ivory and I put it into all the areas that needed to be highlighted. So I put it in her under eye and the bridge of her nose, the T-zone, and right underneath where I'm supposed to put the contour, I put the highlight to bump it up. So it maps out her face. So I would look at her face, and if I see enough contour, I won't overdo it because a little goes a long way. If you overdo anything throughout the day, it's gonna start to cake, it's gonna start to move. And I don't like products moving. So the initial application is really important. Just start with a little drops. Some people, I've seen them pour out foundation and it's like glob. Earlier, I wish I showed you, it's just like a few little drops and it covered her face. But it's where you apply the colors that will make it glow. So I don't know if you took before and after picture. Even from far away, you should be able to see all that highlight just with foundation. But it's very minimal. I didn't overdo it. Her face still light, right? Still feels light. Feels good.
Yeah, nothing.
Do you see enough coverage? I only use 3 drops of foundation on her face with these 3 colors. That's all I use. And while
So
doing
now-
that, I'm gonna do
Yeah, now I'm
powder.
gonna move into contour. And contour, you know, this really, I think on Instagram, all you see is contour, contour, contour. What it is really playing with shadows and light and darkness, because naturally light things will appear closer to us and pop out, where dark will recede. So on the area that you don't want to draw attention to, we would apply darker color so it doesn't draw attention. On the area we highlight, it bounces off with light and it looks like it comes forward. First of all, Helen has amazing cheekbones, so she doesn't even need that much contouring. So function of contour is to help define your features, and it's a technique that was popularized by celebrity makeup artists. So I think it was Kim Kardashian's makeup artist that really popularized the contour. So we have a couple of products for contour. First is our cream contour. This is Motive's Maven series. And the Maven series are developed by a group of influencers on Motive's Instagram. They all have millions and millions of followers, so they know exactly what people are looking for. And this is a cream contour. If you are just beginning to contour, cream is a lot harder than powder. I would start out with powder and then eventually graduate into cream, because cream involves a lot more blending than powder. And the rule of thumb is that all cream goes on before powder. Once you have set with powder, you can't go on top with the cream again, because that's how things turn into muddy and cakey. So apply all your cream product first and then must set it with a powder so things don't move around. So with our Maven Sculpt series, it comes with 4 colors. 2 of them are highlight colors and 2 of them are contour colors. So it comes with fire or ice. Fire is more warmer tone color and ice is more cool tone color. If you do not know what color, I would suggest ordering fire, because that's what 98% what we sell. Those colors are a lot easier to work with. So they're perfect. There's for super underglow, and a little bit goes a long way. This product, just a little bit, one container will last you forever, because all you need is a little bit. Use too much of this product will be really hard to blend out. And now second contour, this is probably my best seller. This is a 3-in-1 powder contour kit. The far left color is your contour color. The reason I love this is it has instructions on the mirror for you to where apply each color. And also the contour, as you can see, the contour color should be a little bit cool tone, because when you think about shadow, you think of gray color, right? So when contour shouldn't be a bronzer because bronzer usually is a warmer color. When you want to create a shadow, it's usually cooler, grayish color. So this color is a cool tone color. The middle one is your bronzer, and then the top is your matte highlight color. So all of the colors are matte for those of you that want to have a subtle look. And the instructions are on the compact on the mirror for you. So now I'm gonna have Linda talk about the contour that she's doing, but in the 15-piece set, you all have your contour brush in there. So for powder, you would use a brush, but for the cream contour, for the Maven's palette, I will not let them go home without the sponge because this is the only thing that can blend out the cream contour and it blends it like a dream. You can use the bigger side for your cheek contour and you can use the pointy side for your nose contour. So you would use the sponge wet. So face shape guide. So now you can determine face shape, you know. Placement product will vary depending on your face shape. So for me, if you have a wider forehead, and if you want your forehead to have the illusion of narrower, you would place the contour on the side. This way you're not drawing attention to the side. If you have a longer forehead, if you have more of a long face and you want to shorten it, then you apply contour on top, so you're cutting out the top. And now for contour, if you don't know where to apply the color, you can feel your cheekbone right here. Everybody have their cheekbone and it's right here. You can feel that bone. And I apply contour right slightly underneath that bone because you want to pop that bone up. It's going to give you more lifted look. And for contour, it should go from your ear to the corner of your eye, and it shouldn't be dragged all the way across because there should be no contour right here. So right to the corner of your eye. And now the jawline is probably my favorite part. So if you have a wider jawline, you can start the contour in the corner and just cut it out wrong. And if you have more of a round face, then you would cut out on the side and don't do any contour right here because you don't want your face to seem rounder. And then, you know, for pictures, and if you want to lift your chin higher, you can apply the contour right underneath, so it's going to give you more of a defined jawline. So it's just tricking people's eye, giving you the illusion of a different face shape. So contour may vary, and here are step-by-step guidelines. So usually highlight goes on the middle and contour goes on the side of your face. So to give everyone the perfect face shape. So here are more examples of where applying contour and highlight. And now I will have Linda go over which contour you use.
The powder contour, like Kay said, I always start people out with powder because it's not easy for you to contour with liquid. For her look, even if I didn't contour with the liquid originally, you can go in with a powder and slowly build up. But to save myself steps, to get through the process quicker with you so you can see it, I use the liquid underneath and then I set it with all the colors, the light colors and the dark colors. So basically I mix I blended the same contour as our contour kit, which you can see over there in the display table, to like map out her face. Because everybody wants a certain face when they apply makeup, it's that apple face. So what I did was I applied the contour right where the cheekbone is to give her that lifted cheek effect, because it is younger but more structured, because everybody likes that young structure. Don't overdo it. If you drag the contour down too low, it's gonna give that appearance like gravity just pushed down on you too much, so you look older. So keep the contour a lot, like, you know, higher than the nose, because a lot of our face, it's structured differently, but you can feel the bone where the contour is and just place it there. But you can kind of map out the face, her ear and her nose right there. The contour should stop right underneath where the starting of the cheekbone is.
Do you mind to show that side of face?
Oh yes, can you turn around? So can you see? I mapped out, it's just her skin structure. I didn't do anything different. It's because if we touch and feel or use a brush, we can see that. That's why if you put just a little product, you can map out. And because I use very minimal product, her face was already mapped out. You saw that her face has structure, but once you put the foundation, you kind of blanked everything. It's a blank canvas. We like to use blank canvases because we get to play, we get to put the whatever we want on it. It's very important for you to just practice the highlight and contour with basic application, like daily makeup application. It's because, as you can see, my face on a daily basis, that's all I do. All I do is highlight and contour. And then where I want to, like, you know, accentuate or hide, I play really hard with it. And then when you put everything else on, it is the icing on the cake. It's just more, because I try to be very minimal so that it's duplicatable, because I take the baby steps and show them you know, little techniques before we get into the advanced. So these are some of the techniques that anyone can do. I'm not teaching you how to be a makeup artist right now. It's just recognizing the face, the feature, and her face is really, like, the shape is really beautiful. But can you see that over here, it's we need to put an eye, like a shadow, to make the illusion, to make that perfect apple face. So that's what I did. All I did was I brushed a little bit of contour here to hide that. So it's an illusion. It's just a shadow. Once you have a shadow cast somewhere, you don't see it. But you want that shadow to be very minimal, not, like, you know, stand out. It's because you don't want to look at the face and say, what's wrong with your face? You know. So that, do you have any questions? But her nose, very beautiful nose. All I did was put highlight. I haven't even contoured her nose, but just that highlight, it just gave her that, like, the plastic surgery effect without the plastic surgery.
Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to powder. Powder, function of powder is obviously to set all the beautiful work you have done. So you can choose to have more coverage by using powder, or you can set with a translucent powder. So first is the Modus Luminous Loose Translucent Powder. So obviously the name says everything in it. I always ask them, what kind of finish do you want your finished look to be? So if they say luminous, a little bit glow, because when you have a little bit glow, it reflects with light, so it gives you more of a younger and youthful looking skin. So this is a translucent. Translucent powder means no color. So it's gonna set your makeup, but it's not gonna add additional coverage. And this is a creamy, silky texture, super fine. It melts like butter on your face, and it also gives a luminous finish. It is paraben and fragrance free. Next powder is our Modus Translucent Loose Powder. Now this, the only difference is this is a matte finish, so this doesn't have the pearl reflective in there. So this sets makeup for a flawless finish and provide a little bit sheer coverage, and ultra fine texture allow for smooth application. Now the difference with, you know, loose powder versus pressed powder, I ask them more questions. I always ask them questions and get to know them. I ask them, do you apply powder once during the day, or do you reapply throughout the day? If they only apply once in the morning to set their makeup, then I will recommend a loose powder. But if they do touch up throughout the day, then it'll probably be a pressed powder, so this way it's easier to put in their purse. So now this is Modus Luminous Translucent Pressed Powder. So obviously if they touch up throughout the day, this would be the recommendation instead of the loose powder. And now next powder I'm going to talk about is the Mineral Pressed Powder. So this is for someone that wants a little bit more coverage. This applies flawlessly and also gives more of a full coverage look. Minimize the appearance of pores and wrinkle, and also this is talc free. This is a talc free pressed powder. So a lot of people say they're afraid of powder because they don't want the dry cakey look, and that means they're afraid of talc. So then, you know, this is a mineral and also talc free powder that is not going to give you the cakey dry look. Now next powder we're going to talk about is the Modus Full Photo Coverage Finish Powder. This is a full coverage powder. It's shine free, and it's also great for anyone that takes a lot of pictures or is going to be on camera. So this does not have any light reflective. It looks great in photos. So this is full coverage, and is designed to worn as a foundation as well. You cannot use this powder wet, but it is designed to use as a foundation as well. So it's for all skin type and all colors. So this is a full coverage powder. So now I'm going to have Linda talk about what powder that we use on Helen.
I use the full coverage powder. I love it because it's buildable. So Helen was asking me, he's like, oh, I need a lot of powder. I was like, no, you don't. It's because when you use the powder, you apply it even, like I pat it in because it gives that soft coverage, but enough. And then I would go back and pat extra where it's needed. It's because again, you don't need to put extra where you don't need it. So I would put it everywhere and then go back into it and work in the areas where I want more coverage. So that's the amazing thing about our powder. You can do, it's very workable, but it's not wet, but it covers. You just have to layer it, layer by layer by layer. And that's another thing why my bride love their makeup and don't want me to twist their makeup in any way at the end of the day, is because as the day go by, you know, they feel like they glow and glow and glow because the coverage is there and they don't want more. They're like, wow, you know, I have enough coverage, I don't want it to be thick. But it's not about thick, it's about how you apply it. So just go very minimal when you're practicing.
Okay, so that's great. I love that the term that Linda is using, which is pat. So for powder application, I think the biggest mistake I see people do is swipe back and forth, and you're actually moving, you know, your contour and liquid underneath. So the right way is to pat it in. This way you're setting the makeup without moving the beautiful work that you have done underneath. And for powder brushes, you can use the kabuki brush, which is great for putting it in your purse. And now you can use the flat top brush as well, or the large single brush. And with brush, the further you hold to the handle, the less pressure you give. The closer you hold to the brush, the more pressure you will give to the application. So now let's move on to blushes. I love blushes. I feel like it makes everyone look happy. So a function of blush is obviously to give you a healthy glow. And now for blushes, there's no right or wrong answer. I typically ask, you know, what color do you love as blush? Are you a peach girl? Are you a pink girl? Or more of a natural brown girl? The first one is our pressed blush. These are so highly pigmented. A little bit goes a long way. And I would usually tap the brush in and shake off the extra and then apply the blush. So now next we have our mineral pressed blush. This is mineral blush, so for anyone that wants to stick with mineral makeup with talc free, so the mineral blush is talc free as well. And it's super creamy. All of our blushes, you can layer them for more of an intense color. So I will have Linda talk about the blush, and you can apply blush either with your powder brush or with more of a precise application with our angle contour brush as well. Which blush did you pick for Helen?
I picked pretty in pink and I mixed a little bit of peach because we all have skin. We yellow and orange, it makes us glow. So it kind of downplay the pink, but like give it warmth because we need a little warmth. That's why Kay was talking about the perfect the foundation palette to use, because most of us in here, when in doubt, pick the warm one because we all belong to the warm category. So I always like to put a little bit of peachy, orange, any kind of warm tone into my blush because it will give her that warm glow with the color and not bright because nobody wants to look like a clown. So, but you can. That's a look too.
That's your look.
And it's because our,
How
like Kay said, it's very pigmented. So I would pick up the color I want and I'll tap, but my tap motion is really quick on the palette so you don't see it. So I had to put my hand out and show you so that you'll see it to do it. And again, you don't want to move the color. You want to place the color because it's all about placement. You've already completed your look. You have to place the color. So that's why I still, again, do tap exactly where I want to place it. And then go in with the clean brush and tap to blend it out. because the final product that go on the face, if you do like swipe motion, circular motion, what happens when you use those motion to wash your face? Everything comes off. You just ruined all the placement. So final powder is very, very important to tap, 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 tap for the powders.
So think of tap, 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 tap.
I always do like
Tap,
that.
tap, tap. Yeah. Oh, don't swipe. And now setting
If you
spray.
sw-
Yes.
You know what? I like people who swipe actually, is because their blush run out fast. So I have to reapply. Do you notice the girls who carry the blush in their purse and reapply? It's a way to apply the blush. If you apply it correctly, then we need to sell you skincare.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad thing. I tell people, I tell my students all the time. They're like, but why would I show them that? You want to show them that because you want to show them you care. If you care, they're gonna buy another product from you because they're gonna feel bad that you know, because when you're sitting in this chair, it's friendship, the relationship that you develop with them. So if you show them, oh yeah, a little bit goes a long way, and you show them how to properly do it and maximize their product, they're gonna love you and they're like, okay, you know what? I want to buy something else. What else do you have for me? Like they don't say it like I'm going to buy something, but they ask you. They'll start to ask you to recommend stuff. If you start off with the relationship correctly, they'll ask you everything, and they won't listen to anyone else. That's why I love working with the chair, or as Kay loves working with the group. She's amazing. I'm like very personable, so that's what I do.
So now let's talk about setting spray. I compared setting spray to hairspray. After you curl your hair, style your hair, what do? You set your hair with hairspray, right? So same thing with your face. After you spend all that time, with the beautiful work, you want to make sure you set your face to make sure your makeup lasts longer. So function of a setting spray is to make sure your makeup lasts longer. Also make sure the texture of the makeup you apply melts onto your skin. The first setting spray is 10 years younger spray. Everybody loves this setting spray because it is great for all skin types, but especially for dry skin. This helps reduce makeup slippage and also make sure your makeup lasts a lot longer. Keep makeup looking flawless day and night, and you can keep reapplying this product. If you do feel dry during the day, you can spray this product again, and it saves up to 50% of your makeup usage. So, and I usually just set it in a T motion. And then next setting spray is No More Shine. So for those of you that struggle with oily skin and you get oily throughout the day, I would use this spray. And you can mix and match too. For combination skin, you can use the No Shine spray on your T-zone and the rest with 10-year younger spray. So the No More Shine spray is actually going to help you control the surface shine and also absorb the excess oil. So now you don't have to use as much makeup during the day to retouch. And helps reduce smudging or creasing too, because when you have oily skin, it tends to crease a little bit more. Which setting spray are you gonna use? I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We're not gonna set it right now. It's because we're gonna do the eyes, and if we have to go in and add, we don't want it to slip off, because once you set it, you're saving that look. It's final. But because we're gonna move on to the eyes, we're going to set it before she goes out. So
Thank you.
look flawless.
So now I'm gonna actually switch with Linda, and she's going to go through some eye products, and then I will be doing Helen's eyes.
So I have a quick question.
Yes.
When you apply the blush, where exactly does it go and how far does it go?
Oh, sorry. See where the apple was where I stopped with the contour? It actually sits right on top of the contour because the contour lifts up the brush. And once you blend, the contour is also a transition between your powder and your contour, so it makes your cheeks more lifted, but 3D effect. That's why I put the blush right on the contour. So if she looks over, you can see that it's dark, light, dark, and then the blush.
Like right on the bulb of
Yeah.
the cheek.
Yeah, the bump, it can, the new look, because I know she wants to look young and beautiful tonight to go out. Most of the time I stop here because most people are conservative about their blush. They don't want to see blush, but the new trend is you bring it down a little bit further. It gives you that youthful young girl look. So you normally stop here, but I took it down a little further. So you see, it doesn't look off, right? Does she look young? Like she could be in high school.
Oh, that's good.
she wants that one. Thank you. Smile. So when we're young and we really blush, because blush is really, that's the name. Because little kids, when they get shy, like they learn to like they blush. You know, they're shy, so they blush. They actually turn red right there. So smile. You'll see that cheek. You see how it smile? You see how it perfectly contour that apple of her cheek? So it gives her that young appearance. And everybody wants to look young nowadays to the extent that they're doing freckle tattoos. I think I shared that before. That was another trend too.
So now I'm gonna share you guys share with you a couple tips. If you do events, you can purchase disposable ones. So for lip product, for eye product, you want to get disposable ones because you can't re-dip product because it's just not clean. And now the place that I purchased these from are from a partner store. It's called Light in a Box. I think it's Shipley direct from China. Super cheap. That's the cheapest. Light in the box. It's a partner store, 4% cashback. However, you know, it will take forever for you to get the product, maybe a month, but it's super cheap. It almost costs nothing. It costs like nothing. I think it's like $10 for maybe 500 of them.
Wow.
So super cheap. They have lip wands, lash wands, everything.
Alright.
So when you start with the eye, the very important step with the eyes is again the eye base. It's like the concealer. So concealer and eye base is like underwear, right? It's because before we put on our clothes, we put on underwear, and then we put the clothes on. So this is the underwear to the eye. And I love our eye base. Is a little goes a long way again. When you put the eye base over, just grab a little product and lightly work the product. Work the product on the lid.
We should show them with eye base and without eye base.
Cecilia, you know this one. Cecilia will show you the eye base demo that we do. She'll put the eye base on and then the eyeshadow, and you'll see how
huge difference.
It really brings out the color.
Yeah.
It's not only like the layer, but it gives you that smooth surface, and it kind of balances the colors, because our eyes sometimes are discolored, right? So you want a smooth canvas so that the color will pop. Have you bought an eyeshadow that you totally love, and then you can't use it because it doesn't look like what the color looks like in the palette? It's because you're not using eye base. It's because we have colors that we have to conceal before we put the color on. And this could be eye base, it could be foundation. You could use other products, but I love our eye base. It does not crease.
Do you have recommendations for people with oily lips like myself? I tried to use the eye base and I still have an issue with
Yes.
creasing.
Our eye base is amazing. There's a few people who cannot use it. I would say use a pro powder in your lid. Pat the pro powder on to create that blank canvas, because you need the blank canvas. If you notice, after I did the blank canvas and I pat on the blush, what happens? I'm just patting, the colors there. That our pro powder, it sets really well. If you pat it properly, it'll set and it'll stay. It's not gonna move, budge, shift, or anything. But also because it's a powder, so it'll kind of balance your eyes, but also help it, keep it dry. Right?
Do you do the eye base and then the pro powder, or you just apply the pro powder?
The pro powder. For people who I know has oily skin, because that's what we do. When they sit in that chair, you ask them. Sometimes when you've looked, you can see a little shine at the rim of their lids already. So those are the things that you look for. And if in doubt, just ask them. They say, where do you get oily? Because You feel it, right? Betsy, you feel it, so you know.
I get it, well, it's like I'll go to the bathroom or something, and I look like my eyeshadow is like increased in my eye and.
Yeah, so use the dry pro powder in your face.
Okay,
可以再试去做的，
so
还有
no
可以
eye
再
base,
去画的。
pro powder, and then eyeshadow? Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, thank you.
You know, eye base, I'm totally for eye base. I love it and everything, but it's not a step where, you know, you can skip if you use a different product to balance the area. Because in custom blend, you learn, you know, color balance. You cancel out color. The bottom line is you're canceling out everything so that you can create that canvas. You can create that art. So that's why we do it.
So it goes with eyebrows too. Would you recommend powder on oily base or?
For people,
Oh,
for
man.
people who are oily,
Surgery.
Because when I was patting the powder on, I went ahead and like lightly pat her brows so that it'll stick. The product will stick more. Is because
这是亮的。
I don't know if it was from her brow or the white, but it was a little wet. So I did wherever I see shine, I pat powder to
I
set
love
it
our
so that I can
eyeshadows.
use the next
So
step.
pretty,
But that
everyone.
same goes, remember, the powder goes after the foundation. So foundation is wet. And if you use a foundation, you have to set it with powder. So you wanna set it so it doesn't look wet. Cause everyone wants that matte chiseled look, not wet. But that matte chiseled look doesn't have to be dry. With the foundation that she's using, even though I made it a matte chiseled look, you see the dewy glow, I still kept it there, but it's not a wet glow. That's you know, understanding the product and the foundation. It's matte, but it still glows. Like it looks smooth, right? It doesn't look cakey. That's what I was trying to get at. But you see it?
一会儿再上眼线，到眼睛这里插着
So before do the whole face the foundation, is also do the foundation on the eye? No.
We don't want too much product on the eyes. It's because remember the eyes, there's no fatty layer underneath. It's very thin. So you don't want to put too much product before the eyeshadow because the eyeshadow will slip. That's why when you use the eye base, you go very conservative with the eye base. Because you still want that matte blank canvas, but not wet. Any wet canvas, it will shift.
So for my understanding, for the foundation is only for the face except the eyes, right? When you're doing the makeup for the eyes, you should put the eyes first.
And if you ran out of eye base or don't have eye base or can't use eye base, you have your pro powder. Then you would work the pro powder on there and then work the eyeshadow
Yeah,
over
but,
it.
so I just concerned for the eye base, is because it's also like a little bit creamy, right? But if you put on the eyes and put the,
If
for the
you put,
color,
if you put a little
你看已经不一样了。
eye base on, it's going to be creamy.
but it's not very
It's not
watery.
wet.
Yeah,
It's
not
a
wet.
velvety creamy. Because velvety creamy is okay because eyeshadow likes velvety creamy. Yeah, so any product, the eye base doesn't have to be that color. The reason why our company makes that color because it creates that blank canvas for you to put color on to pop. Because makeup artists like blank canvas, it pops. You like it too, you just don't know it. But for me, when I'm doing like a pageant or a fashion show, I don't have time to layer and wait for it to set. So I would go in with a cream shadow and then put the powder over. It saves me a step. I totally didn't use the eye base. So it's different techniques that you can play with. And that technique is not just makeup artist technique. You can use a variety of products to achieve that look. But how you get to that look quick or long the process. You can cut the process.
You said someone cannot, for some reason, not use the eye base, then we change to the pro powder.
The powder, okay, I took it from the palette. These pop out This is a pro powder. You just turn it upside down, pat on it, pop out, and then you put in the pro palette. I like to carry pro. Could you imagine if I carry 8 of these and open it every time? And then I have a pageant production line going through. I can't, I don't have time to open them all the. So we cater to everyday women and the pro. So that's what I love about the prepackaged. You're not buying 2 different items, one same item, and you can pop it out, put it into your palette.
So for the eye base, do you apply to the, what color are you using for the eye? I just use lower eyelid.
The lower eyelid, you already have all that powder and foundation. Sometimes if they have oily skin, or discoloration, I meant, then I can put it on there. There's a variety of products that you can use under the eye so that the color will pop. Because the only reason why you're using the eye base is for it to stay and pop. It's a velvety texture that will have the eyeshadow cling onto. It lasts longer and more vibrant. So does that make sense?
You can just buy the Demira palette. Everything is in there.
Oh. Before you put eyeshadow on, what color do you use
For
eye base to replace eye base?
oh, I use the neutral.
Okay.
I use neutral or neutral light. You're allowed to go lighter. It's because those 2 colors you can't go wrong. It's because most of us are neutral, beige. Most of us are lighter. If you go neutral light or neutral, it will work. It's because you're bumping up the highlight and you're putting the color on. It's that blank canvas. The color will still pop. You don't want to go too dark. If you go too dark, your eyeshadow is going to look dull. It's going to look green. So it's okay to go lighter than your natural skin color in that area if you have to use a pro powder.
Do you put foundation before you put pro powder on it?
No foundation goes onto your lid.
它用的是它用的那 cream 画在上边，我跟你讲，画在那个的那个啊，是很好，但它容易掉，
You look
而且它那会
the
进
rim
眼
of
睛
their
的
eyes,
的时候，
it'll glow.
这个
It'll have
因为
this
你液体的那种
like oily strip that glows. When you look at their
所以
naked
你要
face,
拿那
you'll
种
see it.
angle 的那个，
Because it's like oily skin people, when you look at their naked face, you can point out that they're oily. Same with their lids. Because the rim of their lid, you're gonna see a thin line, like an oily line. Yeah.
哇塞，大了，
Ask them if their eye makeup moves. Like at the end of the day or halfway through the day, if their makeup moves.
Okay.
It's
真的眼睛
Well,
特有
their
神，
makeup move because it slip over that lid.
眼睛真的有。
If along your eyelash and your lid, if it's oily, you know how at the end of the day some people have raccoon eyes? Because it's slipping there. It's slippery, it has nothing to cling onto, so it's coming down and giving you that raccoon eye. That's why you look at that rim.
它在上肩，
That's what takes it down because the top lid, like higher, it doesn't really, it won't, like, the colors there, it can't,
它在上睫毛膏，
how should I say it?
拿那个抵住了往上。
There's no, you won't see shine there. Very unlikely that you'll see shine there. The shine is where the lid is, right? Betsy? So then when you're going through the day and you're blinking your eyes closed, open